Hello and welcome to another episode of A Brief History. Today's episode, Life is Strange. Ready, set, go! June 2nd, 2008, former employees of game companies Criterion, Ubisoft, and Electronic Arts form a new company in Paris, France known as Dontnod Entertainment and begin development on an original science fiction game called Adrift. This title would eventually evolve into what we know now as Remember Me, a cyberpunk action-adventure game that involved a woman named Nilin hacking into and manipulating the memories of other people in an attempt to bring down an evil multinational corporation. From its inception, Remember Me was intended to have a woman in its lead role, and it was also decided to give Nilin a mixed ethnic background and a mostly non-sexualized appearance. Mostly. Additionally, the development team wanted the game's combat to focus on non-lethal takedowns rather than... yeah. That. As a result, several of the publishers that Dontnod approached refused to back the game, believing that a title starring a mixed-race woman who wasn't a serial killer wouldn't sell as well as one focused on another Eminem lookalike with guns instead of hands and a throat full of gravel. Eventually, in February of 2010, Sony agreed to fund and co-develop the title exclusively for the PlayStation 3, but creative disagreements quickly had them drop out of the project just a year later, whereupon Capcom stepped in and picked up funding for the game, which was released on June 3rd, 2013. However, despite decent reviews and a mostly warm critical reception to the protagonist Nilin, the game didn't exactly fly off store shelves. Seriously, for a while there, Dontnod was on the edge of bankruptcy and had to completely restructure their company just to survive. Despite this, Dontnod persevered and began development on a few new ideas, using public funding to scrape by while in the early stages of development. Eventually, they approached a few publishers with some new ideas for games, ranging from very large open-ended games to an episodic adventure game codenamed What If, centered around a pair of young women. Every publisher Dontnod approached with their larger idea rejected it, though a few were more interested in the small and much more manageable What If. However, almost all of the executives at these publishers wanted Dontnod to change the gender of at least one of the game's leads, something the developers outright refused to do. Only one, Square Enix, didn't question the decision and allowed them to develop the characters as they envisioned. And so, in April of 2013, Dontnod partnered with Square Enix and began production of the new game, which was later retitled Life is Strange, which is a much better name if I'm being completely honest here. This game centered on the story of a girl named Max Caulfield, voiced by Hannah Tell, and her friendship with another girl named Chloe Price, voiced by Ashley Birch.
No one should be able to wield this much power!
The gameplay of Life is Strange took heavy inspiration from other graphic adventures of the time, including big titles like Telltale's The Walking Dead and Quantic Dream's Heavy Rain, as well as some smaller indie titles, most notably Gone Home. So you walk around, talk to people, make choices that affect later parts of the story, and do some occasional puzzle solving. However, unlike the games of Telltale and Quantic Dream, Life is Strange featured unlimited time to make choices, zero QuickTime events, and none of this. And most of this was due to the game's core mechanic of manipulating time. At any point in the game, Max could reverse the time around her to correct mistakes, make new choices, or solve puzzles, a mechanic which was pioneered during Remember Me's memory manipulation segments, but was far more fleshed out in Life is Strange. And while this mechanic was interesting, the game overall was far from technically and mechanically innovative. However, what Life is Strange lacked in world-changing mechanics, it more than made up for with an incredibly strong story and characters, complete with twists, turns, betrayals, and some pretty heavy themes that very few other AAA games tackle, such as depression and bullying. Episode 1 of Life is Strange was released on PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and PC on January 30th, 2015, with its 5th and final episode being released on October 20th of the same year. The title received pretty positive reviews, with critics pointing to its character development and time mechanics as particular strengths. However, it was criticized for some of its writing, including its unbelievably cheesy teen speak, which, I gotta be real here, I kinda love.
Man, are you serial?
Now you're totally stuck in the retro zone. Sad face.
Now, let's talk business.
I got nothing for you.
Wrong. You got hella cash.
This is one doodle that can't be undid, Holmes Gillett.
Hella corny lines aside, Life is Strange was able to sell incredibly well, moving over 1 million copies by July of 2015 before its story was even finished. In fact, the game was successful enough during its year of release that it went on to see a special edition physical release in January 2016, featuring all 5 episodes, a soundtrack CD, an art book, and director's commentary. Later that same year, Life is Strange also saw ports to Mac and Linux, and the first episode of the series was made free across all platforms. The unprecedented success of Life is Strange has proven to be a turning point for Dontnod Entertainment, who are now working on a far larger project, the upcoming semi-open world action RPG, Vampire. Bleh! I want to suck your blood. but I also want to talk about my feelings. But while Dontnod may be moving on to new things, the Life is Strange franchise isn't quite over yet. There has been talk of a second season revolving around a new set of characters, but to my knowledge, Dontnod is yet to make any official announcement regarding this. However, in July of 2016, it was announced that Life is Strange would be adapted into a digital series by Legendary Digital Studios, the people behind Dead Rising Watchtower, and that makes me nervous. Video game adaptations don't have the best track record, and to be frank, Life is Strange is my favorite game of all time, so I would really want this series to be good. But even if it isn't, Life is Strange will always hold a really special place in my heart. I've played it like 4 times now, and it's had such an impact on me that it's actually inspired me to start working on a video game of my own, which I've been doing in my free time for the past year. Between its gripping story, engrossing nostalgic atmosphere, and unique take on adventure game mechanics, Life is Strange just came out of the gate, establishing itself as something special and unique. The developers at Dontnod had a clear vision of what they wanted to do, and not once did they bend to the will of the publishers who wanted them to change or water down that vision. And as a result of this, Life is Strange has become one of the standout games of its genre, gaining a dedicated fan following helped along by the wealth of gamers who either streamed or did Let's Plays of the game on YouTube. Watch them cry. Watch them cry. It might not be the most groundbreaking or best-selling game of the last few years, but it is certainly an experience unlike any other that has worked its way into the hearts of many, many gamers. And it stands as a testament to what can be accomplished in the game industry when a developer is allowed to explore genres, themes, and stories beyond just what the focus groups and executives say are popular. And hopefully, games like Life is Strange will help set a new precedent for many great and hella original games to come. Thanks for watching, guys. DFTBA. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching my Life is Strange brief history. I hope you liked it, and if you'd like to learn about one of my other favorite games of all time, you can check out my episode all about The Last of Us. Get a bit of a refresher now that the sequel's been announced. Or if you'd rather learn about the origins of graphic adventure games like Life is Strange, you can check out the episode I did with Dan Avedon of the Game Grumps about King's Quest. I'm really proud of both of these episodes, so check them out if you'd like. And until next time, guys, play Remember Me, if you want. It's a super underrated game. I mean, I liked it. I just want to voice a character in the next Life is Strange game, if there is one. If there's another Life is Strange season, I want to be someone in it. I want to voice a person. I could be a guy walking in the background who says, "Hey, get out of my way," and that'd be fine. I just want to be in a Life is Strange game.